Hello everyone, this is Jason from Prime Time Aquatics, and today we've got something exciting going on. The last 40 breeder on that wall of 5 tanks, we're going to get that going. The reason it's pretty cool, I think, is I didn't do the aquascape. In fact, my wife did the aquascape. It was her first go around at it. What's really cool is she's got this artistic side, and now she's starting to turn that towards fish tanks, which is awesome for me to see. And so she went ahead and did it. Now the video is going to be a little bit different. She didn't really want to be on camera. She just wanted to show her results. So you're really going to get a rather short, hey, this is what it looked like before an empty tank, and this is what it looked like. This is what it looks like after. But it's nice. It's something a little bit different, not something necessarily I would have done, but I think you're going to enjoy it. I think you're going to like the fish. It's a nice setup. So stay tuned. Okay, everybody, so this is the 40-gallon breeder. This is the last one that we have to do on this wall. Everything else is done. We started with the 40-gallon down here, and this is the temporary home for the red devils. That tank will change when we get new inhabitants, when they move on to probably a larger tank, and so that's kind of a temporary thing. And then if we come over here, we had the first of the 33 longs. And we did this more of a planted tank with some driftwood, a little bit of rock, and that was for the Thryctes maculapennis. Then we changed it up a little bit. You'll have to excuse the food on the bottom of the tank. It's feeding time. This was our Lake Tanganyikan setup, and we have the Calypterus in here. We've got some shells. We've got the sandstone with the white sand. And then when we come up here, this was our black water tank. Still a little bit of fungus on the wood, but it's going away. And so that was for our Geophagus brasiliensis. And now we're going to wrap it up with this tank here. And so this is our final 40-gallon breeder. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is the latest of the tanks on the wall. It is the last of the tanks that we had to do, our second 40-gallon breeder. We did this one a little bit differently than the previous 4, just because I actually didn't aquascape this tank. This was done by my wife, and she's a little camera shy. She preferred just to do the work and show it off at the end, and I think she did a really good job. She's far more patient, and she thinks a lot about this stuff, a lot more than I do, especially given this is like her first setup that she's done. And so let's kind of talk about what we've got going on in this tank. First, the fish. And so let's take a look at them. You may recognize them because they're not brand new. They are from our 75-gallon tank. These are the Cryptohera Sajicas, and they were in with some Geophagus pellegrini and a few smaller electric blue Jack Dempseys. And we knew that that was going to be a heavily stocked tank for 75 gallons, and we knew at some point somebody was going to have to move. So we decided when we built this wall that these were the fish that would get their own home. And one of the things that we wanted to do is, if you recall, and I will try to put a link in the description if I remember. I'll put a link in the description from some of our earlier videos. But these fish looked black on black substrate, and they were going to stay really dark. And I know these fish have decent color. It's just a matter of getting them in the right environment. And so one of the things that we decided to do when we moved these fish in is we wanted to keep the substrate a little bit lighter. So we've seen this before in some of the other setups. We have the brown gravel. The rocks you can see here. We lucked out. We had some Christmas time gift cards, and there was a sale going on at one of the pet stores by us. So we were able to get these at a decent discount. So we went with these rocks that you see here. And then I had this piece of driftwood, and it's kind of cool. It might be really hard to see, but there's like a big hole in here so the fish can actually swim through it. I thought that was kind of neat. Plants. So plants, we're keeping it lightly planted at the start just to see how the fish interact with everything. So we've got some wisteria up here, and then over there by the sponge filter. And then the plants that you see in front of the driftwood, that's jungle val. We've had really bad luck with jungle val, and I'm not exactly sure why. However, in the last batch that we got, we decided that we were going to float it in a number of our tanks to see if we could get some runners started. And that's indeed what happened. And so we have the stuff in a number of tanks. And so far, so good. So we're getting runners. And so I decided to go ahead and plant this. Don't know if it's going to be there in a couple weeks. If it's all going to melt back. If it's going to grow. If it does grow, I might actually move some of the growth to behind that big piece of driftwood. But I like it so far. And the fish look much better in this tank. So our hope was that they would lighten up a little bit, start showing off some of their colors, and that's pretty much what has happened. They're lighter, and so now we're starting to see the reds and the oranges come out in the fins. We're starting to see the purple appear in the body region, which I'm quite happy about. The blue eyes are still showing, which is pretty awesome. So I think overall it was a good decision to put these fish in a tank with a lighter substrate. I really like them. They've got fantastic personality. They're very outgoing, as you can see. Not at all camera shy, which is something that I appreciate, being the fact that I have a camera stuck in our fish's face a lot of the time. So this is a great tank. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think my wife did a great job, given the fact that, you know, she's always had this artistic side to her, and now she's starting to express that artistic nature in aquascaping, and I can't wait to see what she does in the future, because this is better than what I can do, and I think it's just going to get better from there. And so, you know, I've mentioned this before, but as we go through these tanks, some of them don't look so great, and some of them are set up just for breeding, and then they're not going to look that great. But for others, we want them to look a little nicer, and I think as we go through this year, that's one of our main goals, because quite frankly, I'm not sure how many more tanks we really want to maintain. So now it's really about the tanks that we have, getting them to look a little bit nicer. And so we've got some work to do on the other side of this fish room, on the other side here, with the 150 and a couple of the 75s and the 55s. So they need some work, and so we're going to be doing that over the coming months. But happy with the way the tank turned out. I think this is definitely something that these fish can enjoy. Hopefully we can find some babies in the not too distant future. And we'll give you updates as they get older, as they color up even more. And that's the one thing that's so cool about these fish. As we can see, they're not fully mature yet. And they're certainly not in breeding dress. And so that's one of the things I hope to bring you, is as these fish get larger, as they get more mature, to show you what they look like when they're really popping, when the colors are really going. All right, everyone. So that's the 40 breeder. That wall is now complete. It was a lot of fun getting those fish in. We really needed those extra tanks. I know it sounds crazy. We had, 45 tanks in our fish room, and upstairs we have another few, and we still didn't have enough. It's one of those things where you get more fish, and instead of getting rid of the old fish, you just add more. Now you need a place for them. And so one of the things we knew we needed to do was move the red devils out, and that's what we started with. Right? Again, that tank, it's not a permanent setup. It's something that's going to change. Those fish will have to move to a larger tank at some point, and we will make that tank look a little bit nicer. The 333 longs we're really happy with. I think the Therichthys maculopinnus are going to enjoy that 33 long. I think we're going to be able to get some breeding in there. The Tanganyika setup for the Calypterus, I think that's something that they're going to be able to breed in. We're going to be able to house them in that tank long term. The 33 long Blackwater tank, I recognize Blackwater is not for everyone. It's just something we wanted to do. It's healthy for the fish. It may not look as appealing to the eye for some people, but I think it's something that's going to be pretty awesome. It's a little bit different than what we do. I think the Braziliensis, at least we'll be able to keep a pair in there, I think, long term. We'll see. And then we've got this 40-gallon breeder with the Sajicas. I really like the way they turned out and the way they lightened up. I knew when we put them in the 75-gallon over here with the Geophagus, with the Jack Dempsey's, with that black background and the black substrate, they were probably going to look pretty dark, and they did. If you were to go back and look at the Fish Room Tour Part 2, this tank right over here, it's on that video, and they look pretty dark, they look muddy, but they had the really nice bright blue eyes. So the main thing here was getting them on that substrate, getting them on that lighter substrate, and now we're starting to see the reds and a little bit of yellow and even the purple coming out in the belly, and that's what we wanted to see. And it's only going to get better as they get larger, as they get into breeding dress. It's going to look really cool, and so we're going to bring you along for that. For those of you who have been asking about a fish room tour, we're going to be doing that soon. And so what we do is about 4 times a year, like once every 3 months, we'll take you around the fish room. I often have to break it into 2 parts, otherwise it's a really long video, but we're going to be doing that coming up here real soon. We'll do a full fish room tour. You'll get to see all the fish that we have in our tanks. A lot of them have gotten bigger. We've gotten some new stuff since the last time, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. I know we enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for us. So if you like this video, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.